I've been a nurse for 34 years, and recently I realized something that was very hard to admit. I've spent more than 20 years searching for a different future. 20 years. And looking back, I think I finally understand what was keeping me stuck. If you're a nurse who's ever wondered whether there's another path, more flexibility, or more options for the next chapter of your life, I think you'll understand exactly what I mean. Interesting part is I wasn't sitting around waiting for things to change. I was actually trying, and I tried for years. If we've never met, my name's Kristy, and for most of my adult life, I felt like there was something else I was supposed to be doing. Not because I felt like nursing was a mistake. Nursing's been good to me. It's provided stability, helped support my family, and I'm proud of the career I've built. But there was always this little voice in the back of my mind telling me there might be another path for me. So I started looking, and honestly, I never stopped. Over the years, I tried all sorts of things. You name it: candle making, affiliate marketing, network marketing. I even published a few books on Amazon. I hired business coaches. And for several years, I built a health coaching business alongside of nursing. And I really enjoyed this. I've always been a nurturer. I'm a wife, a mom, a nurse. Helping people, it's always been a part of who I am. That's one of the reasons health coaching felt like such a natural fit for me. I loved working with women, seeing them make progress, knowing I was making a difference. Some things worked better than others on my journey. I learned valuable lessons from every experience I had, and sometimes some pretty expensive lessons too. A few made me think I'd finally found the answer. But whenever something didn't go the way I hoped, I'd find myself looking at the next thing, the next idea, the next business model, the next solution. And at the time, I thought I was being resourceful. Looking back now, I think I was doing something else. I was starting over again and again. And every time I started over, I was giving up the momentum I had already built. The crazy part is, I didn't see it then. I really believed the answer was out there somewhere. I thought if I could just find the right business, maybe the right coach, or the right strategy, everything would finally fall into place for me. But recently, I realized that wasn't the problem. The problem wasn't a lack of ideas, because I had plenty of those, and sometimes too many. The problem wasn't a lack of information. I bought the courses, I hired the coaches, read the books. The problem was fear, and that's not always easy to admit because fear doesn't usually show up looking like fear. I wasn't sitting around thinking, I'm scared. I was showing up for work, paying the bills, taking care of my family, doing what responsible adults do. From the outside, everything looked fine, but underneath, I think I was waiting for certainty. I wanted proof something would work before I fully committed. The problem is that proof usually comes after you commit, not before. Sometimes fear looks like research, planning, convincing yourself you need one more course before you're ready. For me, it looked like constantly changing directions. Because if I'm being honest, nursing always felt safer. It was predictable. I knew how to earn a paycheck. I knew what tomorrow would look like, and I knew how to take care of my family. The unknown felt very different, and every time something became uncomfortable, nursing was still there waiting for me. So I'd go back to what felt familiar. Maybe you've done that too. Maybe not with a business, maybe with a dream you've had for years. Something you wanted to pursue but never fully committed because life got busy or because the timing didn't feel right. Maybe it just felt too risky. Believe me, I understand that because I've lived it. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I started the Nurse Second Act Insider List, because I know there are other nurses having these same thoughts. Nurses who are wondering what the next chapter could look like. Nurses who want more flexibility, more options, and a little more control over their future. And that's exactly who the Nurse Second Act Insider List is for. It's not another inbox full of marketing emails. It's where I share the things I wish someone had told me years ago. The lessons I'm learning, the mistakes I'm making, the resources I'm finding helpful, and the small steps I'm taking each week to build something beyond nursing. Because if you're anything like me, sometimes it's encouraging just to know someone else is figuring it out too. It's really just a way for us to stay connected outside of YouTube. I'll drop the link below. The interesting thing is that the dream never went away. No matter what direction I went, I always came back to the same desire: more freedom, more flexibility, more control over my time, having the ability to work from anywhere if I wanted to, the chance to build something of my own. And that desire has been with me for a very, very long time. After a lot of conversations with my husband about the future, something finally clicked. Our kids are grown. We've got one grandchild and another on the way. And honestly, sometimes I look around and I wonder where the time went. It doesn't feel like that long ago that I was packing lunches, running the kids to activities, and trying to balance work and family. Now they're building families of their own. And somewhere along the way, I realized I'm not thinking about life the same way I did 20 years ago. These days, I'm thinking more about my health, my retirement, how I want to spend my time, the experiences I still want to have, the places I want to see, and the memories I want to make with my family while I can. Because one thing I've learned is that time moves a whole lot faster than we think it will. And that's probably what made me come to this realization. And it hit so hard. I don't want to wake up 5 years from now wishing I had started sooner. And maybe that's what this season of life is really about: not chasing more, not working harder, and not feeling every minute of the day, but being intentional. Because when you're 25, it feels like you have forever. When you're 35, you're busy raising your kids and building a career. But somewhere in your 50s, you realize time isn't moving slower. It's moving a whole lot faster. Family matters. Health matters. Freedom matters. Having more choices matters. And I think that's why so many nurses start asking different questions at this stage of life. Not because they're ungrateful, not because they dislike nursing, because they're starting to think about the future differently. You're probably thinking about retirement, traveling, those precious grandkids, the things you've put off for years while you were busy taking care of everyone else. And if I'm being honest, that's exactly where I am right now. The question I've been asking myself lately is this: what makes this different from all of the other times? Because I've started things before, I've gotten excited before, I've convinced myself I had it all figured out before. The difference now, I'm not looking for the perfect answer anymore. For years, I thought clarity came first. Now I think clarity comes from taking action. I thought I needed certainty. Now I realize certainty usually shows up after you've already started moving. I don't know exactly where this journey leads, but I know standing still isn't the answer. And for the first time in a very long time, I feel at peace with that. For me, that's what this channel represents. It's not a shortcut, not a guarantee, and definitely not overnight success. A decision to stop chasing every new thing that comes along, and a decision to finally build the future I've been thinking about for years. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I'm sharing this journey publicly. Not because I have all the answers, but because I know there are other nurses sitting exactly where I've been, wondering if it's too late, wondering if they've missed their chance, wondering if they should just keep doing what they've always done because it feels safer. If that's you, I hope this channel reminds you that you're not alone. And maybe more importantly, I hope it reminds you that there are still chapters left to write. Some of the best years of your life may still be ahead of you. More time with family, more memories with your grandchildren, new adventures, more freedom and more options, and maybe even a future that looks very different than the one you've imagined up until now. Do I have everything figured out? No. Do I know exactly how this journey unfolds? I don't know that either. But for the first time in a very long time, I feel clear. And honestly, that feels really good. If this story resonated with you and you'd like to follow along as I build this next chapter, I'd love to have you join the Nurse Second Act Insider List. Every week, I'll share what I'm learning, what's working, what isn't, and the lessons I'm picking up along the way. I'll drop the link below. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt like you've been searching for the next chapter? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story.